The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us. It's 5 a.m. I'm Maddie Jansen, and we begin with a protest sparked outside a courthouse last week. A Kern County judge ordered a man charged with murder in a high-speed, wrong-way crash that he be released later today so he can receive medical treatment. But family members of the victim killed in the crash showed up to the steps of the courthouse yesterday, demanding that decision be reversed. 17's Rob Hagan has the latest.
Kareem Rayad, the 18-year-old accused of murder in a high-speed wrong-way crash, will be released from jail on Labor Day in order to save his leg. Now the family members of the 66-year-old woman killed in the crash are at the steps of the Kern County courthouse demanding change.
We're outraged. We're hurting. We're grieving still. It only happened 4 months ago.
There was no justice.
Court documents show a passenger in his Charger Hellcat said Rayad was driving like a maniac on April 18th, hitting speeds of 120 miles per hour before crashing into Gayla Sue Price on Campus Park Drive. Price died at the scene. Rayad was charged with second-degree murder. The investigation revealed his blood tested positive for THC, the active ingredient in marijuana. Last year, Rayad had an arm amputated after another crash on a dirt bike. His defense team argues he needs specialized treatment the jail can't provide, or now he'll lose his leg. The judge ordered him to be released from custody on September 4th so he could be treated at a hospital in San Bernardino County. Price's daughter fears the worst.
I want to fight for my mom and give her the justice she deserves. We need to see our day in court. And if he leaves, we won't see that day.
Arrest records show Kareem Rayad was arrested on suspicion of impaired driving a week before the fatal crash with Gayla Sue Price. As the man accused of murder is released from jail to heal from his wounds with an ankle monitor, the family members of Gayla Sue Price will continue to fight.
We're a strong family. We're not going to stop right here. This is not going to end until he's behind bars.
Rayad has pleaded innocent to second-degree murder. He faces 15 years to life if he's convicted. I'm Rob Hagan, 17 News.
17 Crime Watch this morning. The passenger of a stolen car was killed in a crash while the driver was trying to get away from deputies. It all happened Saturday morning in Oildale. KCSO deputies say shortly after they began chasing the car, the driver lost control and crashed. The driver and passenger of the stolen vehicle were taken to a hospital. The passenger died. The people in the other car were not hurt. A man's dead following a shooting in East Bakersfield. Friday night, Bakersfield police say shots were fired on Monterey Street just south of Highway 178, close to 9 p.m. Officers found a man suffering from multiple gunshot wounds, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. His identity will be released later by the Kern County coroner. An investigation's underway, and if you have information, you're urged to call BPD at 327-7111. A rescue patient is safe this morning after being stranded at the bottom of a cliff for 4 days. Here's video of that rescue mission Saturday morning. This is off Comanche Point Road between Arvin and Stallion Springs. Rescue crews say they got the call around 11 a.m. after a banged-up truck was spotted at the bottom of a ravine. It's not clear if the rescue patient was originally driving that truck, but crews say the patient was hurt and had been immobilized and stuck there since Tuesday. Lighter news now. A pair of painters have also gone viral after stopping an attempted bicycle burglary in broad daylight. Here with the story of the hero painting contractors and their 26 million fans is 17 storyteller Robert Price.
We live in an era of brazen theft, an era where thieves, amateurs or professionals have no qualms about in-your-face broad daylight theft.
Shameless behavior of a related type filtered down to a quiet Bakersfield residential neighborhood last week, and the TikTok world took notice in a big way. Stephanie Perez had just accompanied 2 of her 4 kids to nearby Centennial Elementary the morning of August 23rd, pushing her husband's new black cruiser alongside her 2 young bike riders. She pedaled back home and parked the bike at her front door as the 2 painting contractors she'd hired pulled up and started offloading lumber for a project in her backyard. That's when this happened, captured by her front door Ring camera and later posted on TikTok. A young man strides nonchalantly across the front lawn, greeting the 2 painting contractors with a cheery good morning. He walks straight to the front porch, hops on Perez's bike, and takes off.
And I see out the front windows that this kid was taking my bike. So I didn't have shoes on, didn't have anything. I just sprinted down the street here. The
two contractors, Jorge Martinez and Gerardo Sanchez, didn't quite realize what was going on.
And I heard Stephanie yelling, "Hey, get back, get back." And we were like, what happened? The wood in my hand, so I put on the floor, went, "So yours, hey, close the doors, hurry, hurry."
By this time, Perez was 3 blocks away.
No, he was gone. Like, there was no way I was catching him, but I didn't stop. I just kept going.
The contractors peeled out in that direction.
And then I see him come racing by me, and they give me the nod, like, "We got you."
A quarter-mile east, the men spotted some movement on the other side of 5-lane Jenkins Road. It was the man they'd been looking for.
He was hiding in a dumpster. You see how they build with brick walls. When he saw us, he jumped the private community and take off.
George called me and said, "Hey, we got your bike." And I was like, "What? No way." I thought that thing was long gone.
Perez has a theory about why 26 million people and counting have viewed the TikTok video prepared and posted by Perez's friend, video director-editor Sarah Hoops.
What the world wants, 26 million views, is this. They want good citizens. This is what is important.
We were glad to help.
TikTokers have given more than $3,500 in tips to the two contractors. That's the good news. The bad news?
These guys are getting really bold. I'm home. These guys are right out front. And it didn't even faze them, and I think there's not a lot of consequences to these guys anymore.
No consequences this time anyway, but also no need to replace any bicycles.
Normally, we're happy if the contractor just hammers the nail in straight. In this case, 2 painting contractors showed they're as sick of crime as the rest of us. In Northwest Bakersfield, Robert Price, 17 News.
As search and recovery teams wrap up their operations in Maui, a volunteer from Bakersfield is back home after spending weeks there helping the victims. 17's Cecilia Trevino has her story.
18 days of hard days since there was so much loss of life there.
Volunteer efforts continue in Maui 3 weeks after the Lahaina fires tore through the island. Cindy Hughie has returned to Bakersfield after being in Maui for 18 days.
Everywhere I went in the town, it was like a cloud of sadness. People would stop to tell me their stories, and one of the last stories that I heard, a lady stopped me and said, "I wanted to thank the Red Cross for all that you've done for me." And then she put her head down, she started to cry, and she said, "I lost 11 family members, and I'm the only one left."
Fighting back tears, Cindy says there was no shortage of heart-wrenching stories, but there were some heroes on the island too.
A little boy stopped me, and he was so enthusiastic, and he said, "When I get older, I want to be a taxi cab driver." And then he went on to say, when the fire started and things were exploding, my mommy grabbed me and my brother, and we were running, and she called her friend, the taxi cab driver, and he came and he saved us. So now I want to save people and be a taxi cab driver.
The Red Cross quickly helped to guide around 4,700 displaced people into shelters and hotels. But the work never really stops for the Red Cross. After just getting back from Maui, some volunteers are now heading to Florida and Georgia.
We have 3 from Bakersfield who are flying out as we speak, and then tomorrow as it's safe to make landfall, and they'll be helping in the shelters. Some of them are shelter supervisors, so providing some leadership.
Cecilia Trevino, 17 News.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.